Two tornadoes in the same area, a different outcome. The city of Paragould implemented a placard system to limit those with access to disaster areas. Alejandra Hernandez stopped by in Paragould, and were you able to speak to residents there, Alejandra? And what did they think about the placards?
These people with these placards, and the city did this to keep people out of the affected areas. I spoke to a resident whose house got hit last year and incredibly this year as well, and he was happy with some of these placard changes.
The cleanup continues across northeast Arkansas after tornadoes hit several areas last Friday. But for Paragould resident Bruce Drope, whose home was also hit last year, there was something different the next day.
The amount of traffic into our subdivision was not a lot compared to last time, and it was obvious that something was going on to stop, I call them rubberneckers, from coming in.
Drope's instincts weren't wrong. The city of Paragould had these placards ready to go when the tornado hit. Assistant Director of Planning and Development Daniel Freelich said the idea came after last year's tornado hit Paragould.
We started implementing them to prevent anyone that was not essential to the cleanup out of those affected areas.
The city handed out red placards to volunteers, residents, and friends of those who live in affected areas, and yellow ones to contractors. Freelich said the placard's biggest impact was on the streets.
The traffic flow in these affected areas. People who were in there to help versus people who were in there to either take advantage or to sightsee.
The tornado damaged Drope's home again this year, but he said the cleanup process this time around was different.
Last year, the streets were so jammed that people who were actually working couldn't get into work. This year, people were able to get in. We were able to get cleaned up twice as fast, and it's 10 times the damage. So that speaks for itself.
Some residents I spoke to off camera said getting the placards was the hardest part, but the end result was worth it. While Drope said he hopes to never see another disaster, he said the city now has a blueprint for a near-perfect response.
I think that the way this was handled this time, I don't give anybody a 10, but I give them a strong 9. This was great.
Now, currently, the city is not implementing the placard system since there is no longer a curfew in place. In the studio, Alejandra Hernandez, KATE News.
Thank you, Alejandra. Very interesting.